uh, okay, so let's just go straight in. Let's know your name, where you're calling from, and what you do.
Hi, my name is Okhiogbe. I'm a doctor. I'm a medical officer at the stroke unit of the Okhiogbe Teaching Hospital, and I am currently in Accra.
Oh, that's nice. So how long have you been a doctor?
And this is my, I want to say fourth or fifth year practice. I finished medical school in 2015. Okay, so my journey was a little different. I didn't go straight into medical school from secondary school. I did a degree in Manchester and then another in Liverpool before I came back and did medicine.
2 degrees before.
Imagine. I really was just running away from responsibility. Let's call it spade a spade. Professional student. No, but it's the path I wanted to go on and hopefully can still pursue. So I want to be able to do clinical work, and my first degree was in research. So I want to do clinical work and a little bit of research. So
okay,
that's my goal.
Your first degree was in Manchester, which is research on what?
It was actually in biomedical sciences, but
okay.
So the thing is, if you have a degree in biomedical sciences from Ghana,
yes,
it would be the people who work in the labs to take your blood and then analyze it. Yeah, exactly. But what it meant in Manchester was research based off of clinical work.
Yeah.
So we were looking more about how, so there was one guy who was looking at whether small babies turn into adults who get diabetes, and that's their passion.
Yeah.
That's very specific, and that's what they learn. So that's what my first degree was in. So it's a 3-year degree. You do a whole bunch of stuff from learning about viruses to anatomy, a whole bunch of stuff. And then my second degree was in research from Liverpool. But that one was more geared towards medicines.
I see. Yeah. So, wow, okay. So you've been on this journey to become a medical doctor?
For a long time.
When did you realize your passion to become a doctor? Not to work within the medicine, but to specifically become a doctor?
You know what it is? I've been quite passionate about Black women's experience, ever since I was younger. You know what I mean? Because I went to an international school in Ghana. I went to GIS up till Form 5, and then I went to SOS. And so obviously I wasn't, through that time, although a majority of us were Black Ghanaians, you do get exposed to people from so many different backgrounds. And even more so the case in SOS, where you're exposed to different types of Africans that you may never have been exposed to before. And for me, the one thing I wanted to tie in was that passion for the Black women's experience with science, because I was good at science. I was good at biology, I was good at chemistry, not so much physics, but I was good with those things. And I sort of fell into it because actually when I was in, so, you go through the secondary school system, and normal African, if you're good at sciences, you're either going to become a doctor or you're going to become a doctor. I don't even know why there's another option. But for me, I wasn't quite sure that, I was mature enough to go down that route when I finished secondary school. So the compromise was for me to do a science-related degree and then see if I liked it and then see where it would go from there. And I guess you don't get so much of that actually here, because I guess a lot of people get jaded in their jobs and they are just teaching for the sake of teaching and getting the check or fulfilling the number of hours they have to do or whatever. But sometimes you get the odd teacher that's really inspirational to you. They bring a lot of themselves to, what they're teaching, and they almost make you want to be like them, And so I had a few of those, and quite a few of them were women, but then at the time they weren't Black women. So in my mind, I never felt like that was the space for me. It's sort of it's like, oh yeah, that's cute, but then nobody actually feels like you're there for a long,
Yeah.
a long time, because all your bosses are white. And I mean, maybe it was the circumstances under which it was, but I never saw, any bosses or any, postdocs or some big research project being Black, So for me, it was a no-brainer that I would want to come back to Ghana. But then when I came back to Ghana, being into research, a lot of them were either hardcore, like I say, like the stuff they were doing at Noguchi at the time was a lot of like plant-based, trying to figure out which plant does what. And I mean, whilst it's really good in parasitology, that just wasn't my interest. You know? So at the time, they had just started the 4-year medical degree program in Kolibu.
Yeah.
And my dad was just like, might as well. I mean, when you were younger, you thought that's what you wanted to do. So might as well. And, when I got in, I was like, okay, you know what, maybe this is the way that I can reach the Black women and be able to do the science at the same time. So here we are.
So what about the Black women's experience called you at a young age? Because that's something like from So answer that first, because I feel like this is an interesting.
Literally from like primary school, right? So those of us who are watching DSTV, I think it was called KTV. Not sure how old you are. Am I revealing my age right now? But all the like nice cartoons, they were all white women.
Yeah.
They had a certain body shape. They had, certain characteristics. So you sort of, you're ingrained from like, even when you're younger, you don't like your skin tone. You don't really like the way your hair is. You want your hair to be more straight, And as you grow along, it becomes more and more complex. It's like, okay, right now we're all Black, but then you realize that in high school, the light-skinned girls are getting all the attention from guys. So now they're a little higher up in the hierarchy, than those of us who were dark. And if you were dark and you were slim, then maybe you look like a model, or like those days it was Face of Africa. I keep revealing my age, but you know what I mean? You look like, there was a Nigerian lady on there actually. I can't remember. Do you know who I'm talking about? She was very popular for Face of Africa.
Was it Agbani Derego?
No.
No, Oluchi. Yeah.
So everybody. So if you were like cool, you were like Oluchi. You know what I mean? That was like a stereotype. So everybody, and some of us were curvy from time, and I will not turn down a pizza or a bread roll. You know what I mean? So we just didn't fit into that mold. So it's just finding your space and finding who you are, and the different complexities. And it's even insane, even when you're like normal dark skin and not mixed race. It's like, okay, if you're able to contour and have the right wig piece, and I have locks just because I really can't be bothered to do much with my hair on a daily basis. But I mean, just finding your place in society, it's an interesting journey, and it's literally different for every single Black woman. And and it impacts everything. It impacts your career choice, your partnerships, whether you decide to start a family or not, the kind of illnesses you end up with, and the kind of person, like just it's deep. It's deep. So it's there's a lot of layers to it, and as much as you grow, so I'm interested in people. So a lot of the time I delve into people's lives.
Me too.
I noticed.
For me, as a kid, I've always done this. Just be curious. My curiosity is the reason why I'm here. I always tell people, just my curiosity, and I think maybe my stubbornness to just ask, okay, what else? Because we are constantly presented with different ideas, and I think we have the capacity to find more, more options. I want to stay on this Black women's experience, right? Because you are speaking, I know you keep saying age, but you're not 60 years. So you're speaking about your younger self, right? And it means that your younger self had a certain level of awareness, to be able to bring all of this together as that young person, right? to be able to identify that, oh, okay, it's not that the light skinned girls are more beautiful. No, it's something, to be able to know that, okay, maybe you didn't know the word colorism, but to be able to know that this is the problem, to be able to identify that, okay, I'm curvy and I'm dark, which puts me in a different category, right? To be able to link all of these things and then say, all right, all of these are issues that Black women face. And I love science. And I do not see a lot of Black women within this thing that I love. So I want to connect the Black woman's experience to science. So then there are conversations now, there are conversations now where Serena Williams almost died giving birth, and she talks about the attention that isn't paid to Black women, right? That how our husband had to actually scream and shout. And then Beyonce had the same thing. And then there's now this conversation where the world is, where Black women are trying to force the world to understand that, listen, you don't listen to Black women's pain. So, like, who created this person? How did you evolve into this young lady who could figure this out?
I think, you know what it is? It's like, I don't think I'm unique.
No, I'm not saying you're unique. I'm not saying you're
I
unique.
don't think I'm
But it's your journey.
No, but you see, I think what it is that being someone with my characteristics, you are forced to grow up a lot quicker than some of your other peers. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
so you think you're forced to grow up quicker?
No, honestly, young Black girls are forced, because by the time you're like 8, 9, it's almost like, yeah, you have to come and start learning how to make stew, because you have to someday make stew for some man. Do you get what I mean? Like, and that's like, no, maybe I want to, play with my dolls for a little longer. Or maybe I want to, go and play video games for a little longer. But, from that age, and it's I don't blame.
But then,
I don't blame.
But then
I don't know, I don't blame the older generation, because I also feel like a lot of them did the best with what they also knew of how society should work. But I think you are forced to grow up a lot quicker. So apart from the fact that, yes, from your family, they'll tell you need to, learn how to do certain chores earlier on because you're a girl, or a lot of us develop quite earlier. I remember when I was in school, by 8 or 9, some of the Black girls had breasts, but the white girls didn't until they were 11 or 12. They were curvier by then, and then by that time you get older men giving them attention. And some girls learn how to use that for that advantage. And then, as young as 13, 14, you're calling each other a hoe and stuff like, I'm like, young, like, you know what I mean? So
but see what I'm saying, this when you're trying to trivialize where you are, which is cool. You understand? It's good to be humble, right? But then how come you didn't fall into the group of girls who were at 13 accepting abuse? Because if a man is looking at you at 13, that one there is abuse. And it's not like they accepted, but they didn't know that this was abuse. So because you just say taking advantage, but taking advantage is the man that's taking advantage, because at 13, if someone who is older than you at 13 is trying to get your attention, then that person is a pedophile, right? But we're looking at the system. But you are saying, you're looking at this girl and you're going, why are you doing this? So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, who inspired, or why was that 13-year-old Maame Dufie? Why? How come you were able to say, no, I don't think this is the way. No, I think this is strange.
Okay. Maybe my background is that what you're thinking about? My background. Okay, so my dad is very much the Pan-African. So me, my brothers, none of us have English names. So he's that guy. He doesn't like politics. He's very much, and this is back in the day. So to me, when you're young and you're just trying to, impress your friends who are into Britney Spears and stuff like that, you're like, tone it down, you don't need to be so loud with the blackness, But I mean, now I appreciate it a little bit more, no, a lot more. And also, my mom is a very, very, very strong woman. Like anyone who knows her, like she frees her mind at the drop of her hat. She's again. She grew up in, I want to say, I think it was the 50s in the UK. So that's when she was in the university in the UK in the 50s. And she'll tell you stories how, because she's a mechanical engineer. And in those days, they didn't even have a female bathroom in the mechanical engineering building. You can imagine. She had to like cross the road to use the washroom somewhere else, And the added layer of being Black in the UK at that time. I mean, it wasn't, I mean, I was in the UK in 2006. And it was a bad enough experience for me to be like, okay, this isn't for me. But, so to imagine in her day, especially with her tongue, I was like, yeah, there's no way she could have stayed. No way. She would have been in jail for life.
So are you domesticated? Do you believe? Let me expand, because I'm only asking this because you said something. So now, do you believe? You said from 8 they start teaching you need to know how to cook because you're going to be cooking for a man one day. So are you waiting to cook for a man? Are you waiting to have a man come and build one life for you?
Okay. Let me clarify. What I said was what I have seen to be the general Black female perspective. Like I said, I didn't by any stretch of the imagination grow up in a conventional home. My mom was hardcore. Like, she was hardcore. My brothers know how to cook.
Okay.
You can't use food to bluff anybody in the house. Do you know what I mean? Because all of you will cook. All of you will clean. All of you will be up by 6:30 because, do you know what I mean? And she won't even. You don't even want her to talk because she's going to play her gospel. You have to just know what is going on. Do you know what I mean? So I mean, that discipline was there, but it was always balanced. I personally enjoy cooking because I like eating.
How many siblings do you have?
I have 2 older brothers.
So you have 3.
Yes.
And you have 2 older brothers.
I have 2 older brothers. Yeah.
So that dynamic is very interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
Pray tell.
Yeah,
but interesting.
Because I always hear women who grew up with brothers understand all the perspective, but then normally with what you're saying in terms of observing what young girls go through in homes, like being socialized a certain way, if your mom was teaching you how to cook and teaching your brothers how to cook, it means that the idea of gender role in your house was fluid. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you agree with that? Yeah. So how do you leave that and go back into the space where girls and boys are socialized a particular way? How did you navigate that? How you were socialized in your house and how your friends that you were observing were socialized, and how did that create any conflict?
I would say because of the school I went to, like the people around me were the same. Do you get what I mean? You forget you're not. I mean, you're unique in certain ways, but in a lot of ways, a lot of you are the same. So you have a general, and I think so throughout school, that was probably what it was. Yes, just surrounded like people who are like you. And then I went to university in the UK, where it's like, although the experience is different, it's so different that you just submerge yourself into it's a different experience, because mind you, at that point in time, you're also finding yourself. You know what I mean? You're not the same person you were as a teenager. You're figuring out which pathway you want to go. You're trying to figure out what type of friends you want. You're trying to figure out the type of people you want to date, that kind of things. I mean, it's a lot. There's different layers to it. So you find yourself, you make a lot of mistakes. And I think even well into your 20s, you're still like, you're just building, right? But it's the same type of mistakes, but like in different ways, you know. So I don't think there's ever like a correct answer. You just sort of keep trying till you find one that fits. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does, because it brings me back.
So with friendships, with work, with relationships, you just keep trying till something sticks.
Yeah, it brings me back to the concept of movement. Because like I always tell people, I believe that that's like the most consistent thing we do, movement. Whether you're asleep or awake, you're constantly moving. Your body is constantly moving. Our body is liquid, so it's constantly functioning, right? And so the concept of finding yourself, when did you think you started discovering who you were? If you can remember, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a friendship, whether it's fashion, whether it's like at what point did something happen? Did you say, this is the direction I want to go. This is the person I want to grow into.
I think you're speaking of it as if that person is a destination. I don't believe it's a destination. It's a journey.
It's a journey. That's what I'm saying.
Really evolving.
That's what I'm talking about, movement, right?
Okay.
It's constant. But at least you have an idea of, this was what started it. This was what started this journey.
I think it's world experience, right? So you have like no matter what your experiences are, you put your choices put you in certain situations, and then by your choices you get out of them, right? So that's how I look at life, right? So it's not, I know some people like to think that, their destiny is there, this is their destiny and they're just headed towards it. But I feel like it's sort of, we're making decisions at every curve that will impact what the next thing happens. And at that point, sort of like a video game, right? So you go through different phases and then you go through different levels or whatever, and you just keep going. So that's how I feel like it is. And I think for a lot, it's like the social impacts, right? So the world sort of tries to tell you who you are before even you really know who you are. So
you're coming back to what I am asking you, because with your analogy of the video game and also your statement you just made about the world.
So what exactly do you want to know?
Until you find out, right now, when you look in the mirror, you are somebody. And this person that you are, you have guided yourself here. And different scenarios, you could have gone in different directions. At what point did this direction start?
I think probably when I started university, because up until then, you're basically just shielded in your parents, right? Your parents make all your decisions for you. You really don't know how anything works. Even if you go to boarding schools, like all the bills and stuff are paid, you just have to go according to a certain regimen, right? And then all of a sudden you're in university and you're stuck on your own to make decisions as to, the kind of person you want to be. Yes. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no. It's all part of it. We're talking about your life. So when you look at yourself now, right?
Yeah.
What do you feel? Do you feel like, well done for the work so far? What wakes you up daily? What keeps you motivated daily?
I think I just like helping people, right? So I just like seeing people's lives get better, and people being able to grow, some of it is painful because growth is painful, but just that's what it is. Just being able to help people and see people smile and the difference it makes and so on. So, and as you can imagine, I work in Okhiogbe, so the death rate and so on is very high.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's quite difficult to pick yourself up every day and then go to work, especially because I work at the stroke unit.
Yeah.
A lot of people die of strokes in Ghana. So
Yeah.
You know, it's not always easy. It's very, very difficult.
I
You sort of have to find.
yeah.
Mhm.
No, no, no,
So
no.
you just have to kind of find a balance, or try
Yeah.
to find a balance as much as you can.
I have massaged a few stroke patients, uh, in my small life, so I understand what
Are
that
you a
is.
masseuse, or you are like a caretaker, or?
No, 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 no. I learned traditional massage when I was like 13, 14 or so. Yeah.
Where was
Uh,
this, in Ghana or Nigeria?
Nigeria.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. So
So do you
I
still do that today? Like, is that something you can do today?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I still massage today. It's just for me. It's really about energy. So I don't just go massaging everybody. But yeah, yeah, I do that today. Sometimes when people have like very serious issues, and maybe um, uh, the therapist that they're working with isn't really helping them, then they come to me. Yeah. So because the thing about the body is that no matter how much you read, if you do not open up, you when it comes to massaging, it's really about feeling. You can be so technical, and technicality can only get you to a point. You know, at the end of the day, once you touch the body speaks. You know, and for me, that has always been my guide. But also the body can tell you who to massage and who not to massage, and that's another level. That's the energy part, because there are people who have massaged people and died because it's energy. Yeah, 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 yeah. Imagine there is like a bowl of negative energy holding somebody down, right? And then you massage it, because massage is about energy transfer.
Right.
Well, maybe not everybody's massage, but like if you are going deep, it's about energy transfer. That's why truly, if you go for deep massage, you see the person massaging you is sweating crazy, right? So it's about energy transfer. So you are collecting and you are receiving. You are collecting, you are giving.
Sorry. So then, isn't it then on you to be able to like rinse yourself of that energy before
Not
you
every
die?
not everybody can redirect. So it took me years to be able to figure out my redirecting. The man who taught me when I was 13 or 14, right? And I was a kid. So I've been massaging and massaging, though he told me about redirecting, but I've been massaging and massaging um not until 2000 and maybe 18 or so, that I figured out how to redirect properly, right? So, but then you might think ego also is a thing, right? So you might see something and you're like, oh, I can do it. Then you do it, then you are stuck because you really do not know how and where to go, right? So it's listen. So it brings me back to your idea of helping to liking love your love for helping people, right? Helps you.
Um.
What's your support system?
Oh no, I have a very solid. My family, friends. I mean, mind you, because Accra is so small, I have the kind of friends. I mean, I have friends I've had since I was one. Shout out to Samantha Jonah.
Oh
Hey,
wow.
sorry, Edu. Yeah, so she's literally been my friend since, and even
It's
till
one.
the yeah, my first birthday, she's in my pictures, and
Wow, that's
that's the
that's some
kind of
friendship.
society we have in Accra. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah. So I
so
mean,
and
mhm.
you have all invested enough to build like the foundation to help you when you need it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like at a certain point, depending on who the person is, you really don't have a choice. And this is why I shout out Samantha Edu. She's like, she doesn't give you a choice. Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, there have been, no, seriously, no, honestly, there have been times where I feel like, oh, I'm just not in the mood to talk to people. And she will call and call. She will show up at your house. I have another friend like that. Amtu will literally show up at your house and press your belly and be like, but you, is that how you are? People call you and you don't have a choice, you know. And they see you and they're like, okay, yesterday you were black. Today you are wearing black. Please explain what is going on. Is that like you don't have a choice, you know? And I mean that's the beauty of the community we live in, I think, you know.
So you like to sometimes stay in your house and not come out?
Oh, like can I get a full day of Netflix where I can just no. When the coconut is fresh there, there's no, they don't, it has to release. Right. And you better be there to hear it with the appropriate response.
That's true. That's true. So now you study in UK, right? Mm-hmm. I understand that your secondary, your schooling in Ghana had a level of privilege, so you didn't go to the normal school. But then when you go to the UK,
are you gonna go there?
Oh yeah, okay. Come on. But even me, as I'm speaking here now, the fact that we are inside our house and using Zoom, that's another level of privilege. So you go to the UK, you find another system there, right? And you studied 2 degrees. How many years did you spend?
Almost 5 years, I believe.
Yeah. So you spent 5 years in the UK. And then you come back to Ghana and you go into the medical system. Now, mind you, you understand the system there and you come here. I'm not talking about government. I'm just looking at society as a system, right? So you come here still with your passion to help, still with your passion to improve healthcare. Your first 2 years, how's the frustration like?
It's very frustrating. It's very, very frustrating. Everything will frustrate you. Like literally everything will frustrate you. Everything from getting your debit card to getting your debit card to work to trying to get a new driver's license to trying to renew your passport to trying to date to trying to get a job. It's very frustrating. It's very, very frustrating. But I mean, when you know is what you want, you keep pushing. And then, I mean, as much as it's frustrating, there's the nice times, right? So there's the days you can go and sit at Tawala with your friends and like chill, or you drive out to Okhiogbe and chill, you know, or you just sit in someone's house and play games all night. Like I have friends that have games night quite frequently. So, I mean, balance, you know, stress kakra, enjoyment kakra, you know.
Yeah. What type of woman do you think that you have become? Is it close to what society says women should be? Is it close to what your parents say a human should be? Is it what you think a woman should be?
No, my family and friends are very okay with who I am because they've seen me develop into this person, and I think they're very proud.
That
But in terms of society, I don't think I'm this, because I don't remember the last time I went to church outside of it being a wedding or a funeral.
Or your mother is a Christian.
My mother is she's very Anglican, very, very. I myself was raised Catholic, you know,
but you don't really prescribe I think to religion like that.
No, yeah, I mean, I would say there's a lot about different religions that I like.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I would 100% commit to a certain, you know, and then just say, okay, this is it. Because I mean, it requires a lot of commitment. I mean, if you're saying you're Catholic, it's not a joke. Like, you are going to mass every day, you are confessing on Saturdays, you are taking, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it is not a joke.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I like my praise and worship. I've tried to read the Quran. I mean, I didn't get very far, but I will try again, you know. But
Do
I
you have,
mean, I like the
do you have one?
thing. I downloaded, there was an app. There's
Okay.
an app on.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what it was. And it had like a translation, I
Yeah.
guess.
You can even get the English one.
Yeah, no, but yeah, but I guess you can't read it. I don't know how you read it. You can't read it. You can't read it like a novel, right? You have to know what it's like the Bible, right? You have to know
Yeah.
what you're looking for.
So if you get the English one, is actually almost similar to the first the Old Testament. Yeah.
Were you raised Muslim?
No, but Charlie, on this street.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Did you have you been interested by any of the traditional practices?
I mean, I don't know anybody that does any of it, so it's quite difficult to say I know a whole lot about it. I don't know anything.
Okay.
So I don't know, so I can't speak on it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
No,
I don't know. Maybe one day somebody will teach me, but
would you like to know?
I'd be interested to know what's going on. I mean, I know in the Nigerian films and the Ghanaian films, they make it all seem as if we're stealing people's husbands and things, but I'd like to think there's more to it.
Yeah.
Let's see. If there's more to it, I'd like to know. But if it's just about stealing people's husband, then it's okay, I'll pass.
Oh, okay. But with in religion, I think every religion has that aspect. Every spiritual practice has that aspect because it's really about human tendencies, right? You take what has been given to you and you use it for what you want, right? So when you look at the colorism that you were talking about, right? So it's a kind of mental manipulation, right? For people to think the fairer skinned women are the best, but that's an illusion, that's a lie, right? Because television has told you so. You know, people have been programmed to think a certain way. Yeah.
Can I say though? I would say I'm not going to blame individuals. I'm going to say what's it called? Mainstream media and so on messed
That's what
up.
I'm saying.
They messed up. No, in recent times they messed up because you see the way the world or the system of the world has been set up. Black people are always supposed to feel inferior in society. We're always supposed to not like our skin tone. God forbid you should be darker. You know, we're not supposed to like what is natural to us, basically. And they messed up in recent times by having shows like Blackish, by having shows like, I don't even want to, some people say BET are like sellouts, but they've had a lot of Boondocks. So right now you have pockets of, and you have people like me or people like other people who've traveled and lived abroad and seen how white people are. And I've seen that, oh, okay, maybe, you know, they are not the fairies that we thought they were. They're just like us, you know. And they have people who are good like us. They have people who are bad like us. They have people who are pretty like us. They have slim ones. They have tall ones, you know. And then now we've moved back and we've encountered older people who still feel like, hey, if you traveled abroad, that's the life, you know. So people have a different way of thinking now. You know, the younger people think very different. Like, people are proud to be dark skinned. People are proud to have their hair out. People are proud to wear African prints, not just on Fridays, but Mondays to Fridays. So at this point in time, the mind frame of a lot of the younger people has changed, you know. And of course, even those who were like that before now have access to social media and so on. So now the world can see how proud Africans are, how happy we are as a people, you know. So it's evolving. We're living in a different time, you know. It's strange time. So we can't compare now to anything that has happened in the past, you know.
I don't think you can ever compare it, but they are all linked, right?
It's like what did they call it?
But they're all linked, just like the video game you're talking about, right? So from level 1 to level 2 to level 3 to level 4. And you can't get to the next level if you don't go through the other. So just looking at that the concept when you were in school, you know, let's not look at time stamps so that you don't disclose your age to these people. When you're in school,
don't mind.
yeah, when you're in school, not too long ago, people were struggling with the idea, the concept of the lighter skinned girls having more guys or more attention, right? That's what you said. So if that was just happening just here, so you can understand what we're fighting. But I don't want to go too deep into that, but I'm just saying it's not it's not surface. It's a layered issue, that leads to xenophobia, that leads to colorism, that leads to all of this, right? And the you not loving themselves, not loving what you are, who you are, right? It's not on the person who is acting like that. It's a systematic, thing, So, but that's why I'm curious. Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Have you faced any xenophobia being Nigerian in Accra, and in what ways?
Let me show you something. I posted this just yesterday.
Oh no! Why?
Yeah, I just posted this yesterday. Yeah, I get different types of attacks. Serious ones, mild ones, judgment, just different things. Even coming into the country alone, the immigration guys will just talk to you anyhow. The police here, when they see you're Nigerian, they just harass you more. People, if you're trying to get a house here, it's another level. They say, oh, you're Nigeria. Oh, it's there's a specific Nigerian experience here. That doesn't mean that you also cannot have like a good experience. But if you have lived there enough as a Nigerian, you know that there is a very specific attack. Just some days ago, it's on the news. Some people went to destroy the Nigerian High Commission where they're developing. So if that can be destroyed, because they say the High Commission is the country that it represents, right? So,
but I don't understand. What was their beef? Why did they want to destroy?
I don't know. I don't know the beef, but you have a bilateral agreement, right? Like that. Every embassy in Ghana is supposed to be protected by the Ghanaian government, no matter what, right? So if that can happen to a High Commission, right? So you can imagine what happened to Nigerians. Like Nigerians have been attacked. I know instances where people have been wrongly attacked, wrongly killed, different things happening here. But you definitely will not know, because that's also Nigerians are living in the Nigerian bubble, right? So it's a lot here, yeah. But so when people see South Africa, they'll be like, "Oh, that's happening in South Africa." No, it's happening here. If you come through the border in through Legon, Aflao, and you're coming in from Togo into Ghana, they'll be like, "Oh, Nigeria, you have money, so bring it." So
that's really sad to hear. Do you know of anything that like is going on to try to rectify such things, or is there some kind of like, I don't know? Do you guys have like an association or?
There's always an association, but it's not really about what Nigerians can do. It's like saying
education, right?
Yeah, but it's like saying, let's say racism, right? It's like now looking at black people like, hey, what are black people going to do to stop this? Like, there's nothing. Ghanaians just need to stop being prejudiced to Nigerians. That's just it.
I feel like when we were younger, we would have like those Ghanaian films, and the Nigerian one would always either be like evil stepmother or juju, or that kind of thing. So I guess, and like in the past, people in the media, the same media, have perpetrated that kind of image of Nigerians being villains in some way. And that even, I speak of back in the day, but even now, you know, a lot of the media, you have to admit, me, I like Nigerian music, so I'm all on the Afro beats and whatnot. Burna Boy is my boy. Shout out to Burna Boy. But I feel like every time it's like Nigeria 419, it's so mainstream now. Was it Modern Family, or there were a couple of TV shows, like mainstream TV shows that have like referred to like Nigeria and fraud, or Nigeria and, you know.
Yeah,
So
but that is cool. That is cool. But Nigeria is 200 and something million
but it's
people.
not cool. It's not cool. It's only
No,
when
I'm saying that's cool, that's fine. But Nigeria is 200 and something million people, right? So are you paying attention also to the dope things Nigerians are doing in science, in different sectors? Like, are you paying the same attention, right? How does that affect the woman who treats me anyhow in the market? Like, how is all of these things affecting her, right? So Rambo have killed people outside America. All the American movies, you're always seeing America destroying countries and stuff. Why don't you hate America, right? So it is a concept of, it's not all of
hate America because of McDonald's and Burger King.
So it's the concept. At the end of the day, it comes back to just loving yourself and loving the next person. I don't really know where it begins or where it ends, but I just know that it's something that before we can even move forward, Ghanaians would have to accept that this is real without trying to bring an explanation for it, right? So once everybody agrees that this is real, this is happening, then you can now begin to resolve whatever is there. It's the same thing we're talking about the world today, right? White people need to accept that racism happens. There is white privilege. Until white people accept that, we can't really solve it, right? So these are the things. So what next do you want to do now in terms of your practice? You've been here 5 years.
So the plan is in September, I'm taking exams to enter a program to specialize in internal medicine. So we were actually supposed to, yeah. Okay. So we're supposed to write it earlier on in the year, but COVID.
Yeah.
So so we're writing it in September. So actually after this, I'm going back to face my books.
Oh, that's nice. So how's COVID affecting you personally?
I know people personally who've had it, and everyone has a different experience. Some of them are completely fine, and some of them, are still having problems and so on. Apart from that, like I say, we still have meetings for work, so I see how the patients are doing and the kind of problems they are facing and so on and so forth. So to me, it's quite bleak, but I really do hope that life can be adapted in some sort of way, that we'll find some decent normal or some sort of protection or some sort of, there's hope. Let's see, there's light at the end of the tunnel. So people are working towards that. Even within the social setting, people have been very innovative. Restaurants, I've seen restaurants with shields around different booths and stuff like that. So we'll get there.
Definitely.
We'll be fine.
Definitely.
We'll be fine.
Looking at who Maame is right now, is there one person or two that you'd be like, these are my strongest influences?
I definitely say my parents. Yeah, both my mom and my dad. Yeah.
You feel you are a good balance of them?
Yeah. As much as I don't like to admit it sometimes, yeah.
So you are also hardcore.
I'm too stubborn. My father is the stubborn one. He's very stubborn, but I'm definitely my father's daughter. So
that's nice. Just to round up, I have one last question, but is there anything you'd like to ask me?
I'm just wondering where you're planning on going with this. Is this just conversations with everyday people? Like is it just archiving? Like what's the plan? What's the long-term goal?
yeah, so the concept of everyday people, right? People, when somebody hears that, they think, oh, um, what is everyday people? Everyday people can be from a billionaire to a truck driver. You understand? For me, you see, because um, I started the platform tag, and the idea is to document, like I told you before, document Black people, Africans, and those within the intersections. And the intersection is plenty. It could be Black man, Black woman, trans, gay, queer. It's just so many realities. It could be Afro-European, Afro-Asian, American. There's so many layers within what it means to be Black or African, right? And documenting all these conversations from just a perspective of lived experience, right? So that's one. And then also one of the things that I'm looking at is looking at history. A lot of the times you see that the people who survive very strongly from our history are the kings, the queens, some warlord, some rich man. You don't hear the voices of, like you said, the everyday person, right? Where are the voices of those people who make society what society is? Right now, I'm speaking to you, a doctor. The other day, I was speaking to an artist. Maybe the next time, I'll be speaking to a market woman. So it's about documenting all these voices from Ghana, Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, around the continent, in the diaspora, and finding a place for it and making it accessible. So that's actually the plan, and is day to day.
That's really nice. That's really nice. I'll keep up to date.
Definitely.
I'll be sure to keep watching.
I would send you. I don't know if you've seen some, but I'll send you links to.
I saw Senna Dagadu.
Yeah.
Love her.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah. That was a very good one. That's a very good one. But I'll send you some links that I feel you'll be interested in, especially knowing that you're very interested in the Black woman experience. Yeah. So that's for that. Any other one?
I think that's it. We've
All
done
right.
almost done.
Okay. So my last question for you: love and duty.
Sorry?
Love and duty.
Can you elaborate, please?
Love and duty, or love or duty.
And I don't think it has to be mutually exclusive.
Go ahead. Just anything you want to say to this.
I mean, I think there are different people, right? And, different people respond to different people respond to love in different ways, and different people show love in different ways, right? But again, it's life, right? You encounter different people, and some people haven't quite gotten in tune with, that whole process yet. So and sometimes even you going into certain situations, that this is wrong, but it's okay for now, that kind of thing. So I mean, eventually you'll find your flow. You'll find one that works for you, and then when the flow gets there, you'll fulfill duties without being asked to. So this whole thing of, does a man need to cook or does a woman need to cook? If the person is your friend and you're in love with the person, you don't care. You are making food for us. Or you even fight over who make. You know what I mean? Like, why does it have to be an issue? Why, I don't believe in this whole him versus her or us versus him. No, just find the one that works for you and be in your lane, I don't understand how you can be mad at somebody else's lifestyle. Just do whatever works for you, Life is short.
Life is short. On that note, I would say thank you very much, Maame. I'm looking forward to a second conversation. Maybe after, definitely, maybe physically. Hello.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it just like me.
I did. Enjoy your evening.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
And stay safe. Stay safe.